What's good, y'all? This is going to be hopefully a quick one. I want to just show you guys a feature. It's part of the AI intent nodes for Node-RED. It's the, let's call it plugin that I created for it to help you connect to GPT. I have version 2.0, which is coming out soon, which will allow you to connect to local LLMs as well as just Gemini. Because all of these things have different ways of interacting, so for instance, the APIs for Gemini is different from that of OpenAI's, and even though the local LLMs like Ollama uses APIs similar to that of OpenAI, it doesn't support all the features, so there's like discrepancies between them. So I tried to account for that and tried to make it as simple as possible, but there's only so much I can do. But with that, I kind of wanted to show you a feature that already exists with the current iteration of it. It's important because I personally think it's an actually really dope technique. And it is the ability, if we want to use LLMs within your local system, you want the ability to essentially dynamically call different functions or automations internally within your system. You could hard code it, so you could say that when this automation runs, or you could tell the LLM like when you need to call a function, call the specific thing, and it will just do it regardless. Or you can kind of give the LLM the flexibility of choosing from a set of different let's call it local functions to run. And then instead of you having to hard code everything or having complicated paths, the OpenAI, or not OpenAI, but the AI intent gives you the ability to like dynamically jump from one thing to another. Let me show you. All right, so here's an example automation. Let's zoom in a little bit. Now, I'm not going to go over all of the nodes, but right now just know that we're using the OpenAI to communicate as like the LLM or the driver. And then here is the thing that I wanted to show you. I want to show you this OpenAI tool, these nodes here, which is the register intent. See the register intent, you see it's purple right there. And then also this call intent down here. Now, how this works is that when we make a call, so when I press this button and there's instructions inside all of these, depending on what OpenAI says that needs to happen, it's going to decide to call one of these functions here, either vacuum timer, get vacuum update, or stop vacuum. And then there's this tool here which defines the vacuum timer. So, and this tells like the system, like OpenAI knows that if I'm calling vacuum timer, this is what I need to pass it. I need to pass it like the number of milliseconds to wait, and then like a response, some kind of short response, as you see here. Now, I'm not going to dive into like this schema. This is like a JSON schema. It tells OpenAI, it defines what kind of parameters it's expecting back as a JSON. But just know that this is basically telling it that this is what I'm expecting back if you're going to call vacuum timer. Now, because there are 3 different functions, we have the vacuum timer, these 3 up here, that means that this will have a choice. It will have several choices. And instead of having lines that jump from here all the way to each of these and having complicated if statements, we have this AI intent or call intent. And when you have call intent, you have these options here. So for every option, for every registered intent, so vacuum timer, get a vacuum update, and stop vacuum, you can see that it's written here. This call intent knows all of the registered intents that has been registered all throughout Node-RED. So even if you're not in this flow, if you're in flows elsewhere, it will know about it. So you can kind of click on one and select one, and what would happen is that regardless of what comes out, regardless of what happens, it will jump to that node. So this call intent would be no different. This is no different than, let's come here and link. It's no different than this link in, link out node. So if I were to have a link out node, link out nodes will basically give me the option. Let me put it on the screen so you can see it. So right now there's nothing in there, but if I go back and I were to create a link in node, so we have a link in node, we're going to call, well, let's leave it as that. You can see that it's already noticed that link out node. And then if I go to the link out node, you can see that it's recognized the linked in node. So it's no different than that, where it's able to jump between different things. But this does it just specifically for AI related stuff. So any of the AI calls, it knows to jump to any of those registered intents. Now, why this is pretty cool is that when I run this, and depending on what it determines, I have here this use payload node name. This is unique to the AI intent, or the way that I built this. I'm going to run this. I'm going to disable this really quick. And we have the debug there. I'm going to run it and you're going to see what I mean. All right. So this is what came back. You see, so it has here node name get vacuum update. And then for the args, it's empty. It doesn't really need anything, but it knows that OpenAI knew that the next thing it needed to call was this get vacuum update. So because this node name exists, when we look at the OpenAI or call intent, it used payload.node name. So it knows to look at this node name, and whatever value is here, it's going to look for that value. And in our case, that's this one. Get vacuum update, get vacuum update, get vacuum update. So it will jump and just start this flow immediately. And as you see here, I have like another call, OpenAI chat. And this, because this is here, will do the exact same thing. It'll go back and ask it again. So you can chain these together and you can have basically a neural network of AI calls that can jump to different parts of your application to do different things. Very powerful, very cool. Play with it if you haven't. But yeah, this is, I just wanted to at least share with you the whole registered intent and call intent and how those work together. If you want to see what this is, this automation here, this is a test automation that I'm doing. I'm creating a video for it that's going to be coming out soon. But for you guys, I'm going to talk about it in the next video coming up. All right, bye.